Hello everyone! If you're anything like me, then most probably you have previously debugged your projects by using print statements. And yeah, I get that debuggers are very useful, but we can all agree that print statements are very accessible. Now, in this video, I want to show you all the techniques that you can use to get the most out of these print statements. So, let's get started. First of all, and the thing that started this video, is the fact that maybe sometimes you get into the situation in which you have like a bunch of messages, like these ones. And just for 1 second, for some reason, you might want to no longer see these messages. Well, what you have to do is to basically remove them all, but of course, this is not always as easy as it was right now, because these messages might be anywhere along your program. So, how could we get rid of these messages while still not removing them? Well, instead of using print and seeing these messages here, what we can do is to use print verbose instead. So I'm just going to write here print underscore verbose. And as you can see, if I press F5, you no longer see anything here. But why don't we see anything? We don't want to not see anything, right? Well, we don't see anything because the verbose mode isn't enabled. So what you can do is to go to project settings, and in here, after you search verbose, you can click on, and if I now press F5, we see all this hello everyone in our console. And of course, if I want to get rid of this now, all I have to do is to go to project settings and disable this, and if I press F5, I no longer see them, so I didn't have to go through all my files to remove everything. I could just click a checkbox. Now, another issue that I have with print statements is if, for example, I want to show some variable and I also want to show some text with it, I stumble into the following problem. I could go for something like, I don't know, var and favorite food and make it equal to peanuts, of course, and I could just write something like print my favorite food is, and then write favorite food. So just copy this variable. And now if I press F5, you'll see that in the console my favorite food is peanuts. It's peanuts. It's tied together. And oh, I just remember that yes, I have to add a space here. And yeah, it takes some time to just have to rerun every time just to add this little space. So what you can do is to instead use the function printt, and this is going to add spaces between all parameters. So right now, if I have my favorite food is peanuts, and maybe I could add, and I don't know, carrots, I can press F5, and you see that the spaces have been automatically added, even though I did not say here any kind of space, not here, neither here, and so on. Yeah, now, as you might expect, I can also do kind of the same thing, but separate strings of characters with tabs instead of spaces, and to do that, I would just have to write print t. I guess you can see the pattern, it's S for spaces and T for tabs, and I can write A and B, C and D, and if I now press F5, you'll see that these letters are being separated by a tab. Now, to be more precise, everything occupies a multiple of 4 characters. So, for example, if I were to add a few more prints, which printed something like this, you would see that it prints naturally and it looks really good if I print 1, 2 or 3 characters, but if I print 4 characters, then it already goes over the amount of characters that a tab would occupy, so it has to add another tab here. Okay, but now we got into the case in which we have printed quite a lot of things. Now, let's say that we want to keep these things, but we also want to print some other thing, but we want to emphasize it so that it's easier for us to find it. Well, we can make use of the full power of the print rich function, which is going to allow us to print any kind of rich text like you would in a rich text label. So let's just write print rich, and in here, let's say, for example, my favorite plant is rose. If I press now F5, you'll see that, yeah, it's pretty hard to find it and nothing much really happened. However, I can use BB code that I have also showcased in a previous video, with which I can change the formatting of this text. So the simplest example would be to write, let's say, parenthesis B and another bracket here for closing this B tag. And if I press F5, you'll see that this row is now emboldened. Now, if I wanted to change the color of these rows, well, I could say color equals to red, and let's close this color tag. I can press F5, and you can see that rows is actually written in red. And I could even combine those. I could write B, and I can even close B. And if I press F5, it's red and it's also emboldened. Now, on top of this, another thing that I can do is to even animate the text in my console with tags like wave. For example, wave is going to bounce my text up and down in a wave pattern. And if I add this wave tag, I can press F5 and you'll see that the text starts moving up and down, which, if you ask me, is pretty cool. Now, of course, I'm not going to cover all tags here as I have another video on BB code, but yeah, I think this is very interesting. Okay, now while printing pretty things is nice and all, it doesn't help too much with debugging our code. So let's see some functions that actually help with that. Let's say that we have a system that maybe removes nodes, and we somehow in that system have some dangling nodes, so nodes that are not basically connected to anything, but they still take up memory. How could we check which nodes are doing that? Well, there is actually a function called printt orphan nodes, and this is going to print all nodes that are orphans. If I now press F5, you'll see that this is going to print nothing because everything is perfectly okay. But if I were to, let's say, remove child and remove this animation player that I have as a reference, you'll see that now I have this stray node, which is an animation player. Now, another cool thing that I could do would be to print the current tree. So for example, I could write print tree, and if I press F5, you'll see that it basically prints all nodes in here. But you might ask yourself, why would I even want to see in this ugly format all my nodes? Well, it's not necessarily the ugly format. I can also print the tree in a pretty way. And if I press F5, it looks a bit better, but I still don't see the utility of having this tree being printed. Well, this is useful because you might also have components that you have added only at runtime. So, for example, it's finally time to use this mysterious fill world with peanuts function, which basically just summons a bunch of peanuts. So I can call this and let's see what happens now. If I now run print tree pretty, you see that on top of all the things that you can see here, I am also seeing all these peanuts, which of course you can also see into the remote tab, but it's nice to have it in the console. Okay, now let us finally get into actual debugging printing tools. So for example, let's say that we wanted to show the developer that something really bad happened. Let's say that we reached at some point a path in which an error variable became true, and we wanted to say to the developer, hey, things are really bad, so if this thing is happening, you need to see this and you need to do something soon. So, oh no, here. If I press now F5, you see that it's really easy to miss this oh no, since it looks like everything else. However, what I could do would be to write print error, and if I press F5, you'll see that I get this error message written in red with this red dot, and I also get a red dot near output, which is showing me that something really bad happened. Now, if this still isn't too obvious, or maybe if you just want to have the errors separated from whatever you print here, you could push the error. So I could just write push error, and this is going to no longer show the error here at my messages, but it's going to show the error at the debugger level. So yeah, in here you could actually create your custom errors, and as you can see, it has the stack trace and it also has the line at which the error happened, so it's quite useful. And of course, in a similar fashion, I can write warning, and of course it's going to push a warning instead, saying, oh no, something happened. Now, speaking of stack trace, what we can do is to also print the stack. So I could write print stack, and of course without oh no, And if I press F5, you'll see that it's going to print that at the frame 0, at line 11, something happened, which is basically what we saw here in the debugger. And of course, if we were to print this stack, let's say in this fill world with peanuts function, then maybe let's just hide this so that it doesn't get too cluttered. You'll see that I no longer get only the ready function, but I also get the fill world with peanuts function, so it's showing me the full stack. But yeah, maybe seeing the full stack is not really what you need. Maybe you just want to see, hey, where this error happened and why this happened. So instead of writing print stack, I could be writing print debug. And if I press F5, you'll see that it shows me only where this happened without going up into the stack and letting me know all the colors of this function. But yeah, these are pretty much all the utility functions that we can use in order to make our printing easier. And yeah, while debugging usually is better, there are a lot of cases in which printing can be better than debugging. For example, you could have this for in which we spawn a lot of peanuts, and if you wanted to debug and see the actual peanut global positions, well, you would be in for a bad time because you would have to go into this and go through the code every time just to see what the value is, and then go again for the next value, and so on and so forth. And of course, it would take quite a lot of time. So what we could do instead would be to like just, hey, print this peanut global position. And if I press F5 right now, I get all the global positions that I want. So yeah, let's just make use of the tools that we have in the right contexts. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'm really glad to be back. And thanks a lot to my Ko-fi supporter. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next one. Bye bye.